Hi everyone, it's Wasim here. In this lesson I'm going to show you how to use layer masks. What layer masks do is allow for you to emphasize specific areas of your photo in an original way. Okay, and I'm going to show you the way that I use it. There's many ways of using it, but I use it for this specific reason. I'm going to open up an image. These are a load of photos that I'd taken. Let's use this one. Okay, so I'm going to go to image. I'm just going to resize it so I don't have to keep zooming in and out. Image size, I'll put that to 900 and press enter. That will do. Now what we're going to do is change this image to a black and white image, but we want the red coloring pencil to be standing out, and we want that to stay in color. So that's where layer masks are going to come in handy. But I'm going to show you what a lot of people do in Photoshop to get that same effect. It may look just as effective, but it makes your image non-editable once you've saved it, and that's not the way a workflow should be in Photoshop. So this is another one of my tricks that I use to keep everything editable. But let's first go through the way that people generally do. They duplicate the layer. Okay, so you drag this layer into the new layer icon and let go, and now you can see that there's two identical layers. We've just duplicated the background. Okay, if I turn the top layer off, you won't see any difference on the canvas, simply because we've got the exact same image underneath. So we'll just switch that one back on. We'll go to Image, Adjustments, and Black and White, and we'll click OK. So now you can see it's turned to black and white, but when we turn the visibility off by clicking on this eye icon on the top layer, we can see that the image, the layer below, is revealed, which is color. Now what people generally do is get the eraser tool and they just erase a part of the top layer. If I just turn the bottom layer off for a second and I start erasing this, you'll see that I've just created a hole in the image. I've just deleted that pencil. Yeah. I'm going to turn this one off and turn the bottom one on. And as you can see, the bottom layer is still intact, simply because I only erased the red pencil area on the top one. But when I switch that one back on, look what happens. That's because the layer on top has now got a hole in this part here. We could make a hole here and make this show through. Yeah, so that's a very simple way of making a particular area of your image stand out. But the problem with doing it this way is this. We'll save this actually. We'll save it on the desktop and just call it red pencil. And then we'll close this and we'll open it again, and I want to show you something. Desktop. Where did I just save it? Red pencil. Okay, so now what happens if I wanted to make this red pencil back into black and white? The problem with this is I would have to get rid of that layer and duplicate that layer again, and then go into all this and turn it into a black and white image and click OK. Okay, so what I've had to do is unnecessary work there. So this is the correct way of doing it. You duplicate the layer, turn it into black and white, and there's a little tool down here which is called the layer mask. If you hover over it, it says add layer mask. So left click on that and you'll see another little thumbnail appear within that layer on the right hand side of the photo. Once you get that, you grab the brush tool, and over here on the left hand side you'll see that the foreground color automatically gets set to white and the background color gets set to black. When the foreground color is white and you've selected the white thumbnail area here in the layer that you want to be deleting or making holes in, when it's white you'll be filling in, and when it's black you'll be cutting out. And the way to change it is by pressing X on your keyboard, and these two, just when I press X, keep an eye on this foreground white and the background black. They'll swap round like that. Okay, so every time you press X they go back. With the foreground set to black now and the brush tool selected, now when I draw on here, what it's actually going to do is create a hole on this image, but temporarily, and that's what that layer mask is. The mask is like a transparent sheet that I can make a hole out of, revealing the layer underneath. Okay, so there's a black and white image. When I draw on top of here, it's going to reveal this layer underneath. So let's go ahead and do that. So red, and there's the pencil area showing through. And just before I continue, let me just turn the bottom layer off, and you'll see that what I'm actually doing is just making a hole in the layer of where the black and white image is. That's all I'm doing, except the image is actually intact, and that's where the layer mask allows me to keep my image editable. Okay, so it's not like the one before where I literally used the eraser tool and made a hole in it and saved it and came back and found that the hole was still there and I had to start all over again. Here, let's just put that one back on again. If I suddenly decided now, well, I don't want the hole to be there, I don't have to keep pressing Control and Z to make the computer to go back each step, like an undo kind of step. I don't have to do that. All I do is press X and swap these two round over here on the left hand side like that, and now Photoshop knows that the foreground is white, and now it just needs to fill in the hole. So now when I scribble on there, it's going to fill it back up again, covering up the hole and not allowing the image underneath to be seen. And that's simply it. So if we go back into here, press X to swap these two around, and this time we'll go and do the whole red pencil, and you'll see that you can use this effect for when you want to make a certain part of the image stand out. Now if you were talking about the color red here, you know, red is used for quite a lot of colors, isn't it? That could be quite a good poster within itself with some kind of message written in here. Okay, so that's how to use the layer mask. How else could I use it? Well, let's close this and go onto desktop. Let's go back into the images again. See what other images I have. And the reason why I haven't sort of rehearsed some of these tutorials is for you to be able to kind of see you know, just what it takes when you're looking for images, how long it takes, and just to get an idea of what workflow and the time it takes. Okay, so let's just grab this image, and you can do the same here again. You can duplicate the image by dragging it into the new layer icon, going to image adjustments, black and white, clicking OK, coming down here, adding layer mask. Make sure that your brush tool is selected. Make sure that your brush tool is maybe large enough. And you can make one specific area of your image in color. So you can have this little green tree down there, okay? Or this main one here. You can just turn that green. And for a more sort of detailed approach, you can zoom in on the image and get rid of all these extra selected areas here by pressing X to swap these two round again, grabbing the brush tool and just getting rid of certain little areas here. So now when you look at the image, everything's black and white except that green tree. Obviously I haven't gone into detail, and cut around each leaf, but you get the idea of what the tool does. And so that was the lesson on layer masks. So I'll just close that. I won't save it. So that is the end. They are your Photoshop tips and tricks course. I hope you enjoyed them. Any questions, and don't hesitate to ask. And also, I would like for you to kind of have a go at certain images and communicate between each other, on the forums. That's something that I didn't do when I first started designing. I just sort of sat on my own and had a go, and I kind of struggled for ages and ages. I didn't really have the guts to ask people on forums, simply because I was too embarrassed to show my pictures. And we've all got to start somewhere, and if you're kind of struggling or you're making a few mistakes here and there, the best way to improve is just to make something, just to have a go, just get right in there and do it, and just show your pictures to each other and get feedback, and just honest feedback, and a good constructive criticism always helps. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the course. As I said, any problems or any kind of extra tips that you like, get in touch through Udemy, and I've quite enjoyed teaching you actually. So I shall see you later. Good luck and enjoy Photoshop.